9 o'clock and we are live. It's Heather Boyd Wire here and it's Wire Lady TV. What episode are we at? We're at episode 52. And this is an unusual time for a live stream. Usually I'm live on Wednesdays, but this week I had an event on Wednesday and so we're on Saturday. So hope everybody's having a great weekend. As always, I'm going to pull up the video so I can see comments and stuff. Oh, we have some people. Brandy's here and Nara Animation is here. Awesome. Hey, guys. So I don't know if Saturday night is a good night for people. Maybe people are around a little more than usual. That's pretty awesome. We have 7 people already, which is great. So I'm going to just open up my screen and Clarice is here. Hey, Clarice, are you home on the weekend? And I have to find my comments. So there we go. So I don't really need to see my screen, but I do need to see my comments. Facebook has changed their setup of how things look here. So it's out. Here's Diana is here. Yeah, let me pull this up so I can get everybody's comments. Janine and Kat is here. Awesome. Wow, you guys are so good. I'm glad you got my notifications that the live stream was a different day. And in fact, next Wednesday, I'm also going to be actually, I might be available Wednesday. I'm going to a Sanka set thing downtown, so maybe I could still do it Wednesday. I'm going to definitely let you guys know. I could always bring a portable project downtown that I can bring on the bus and then do the live stream from downtown. That's always fun. And Diana's wondering how everybody is. Yeah, please, as always, chat amongst yourselves in the comments because you guys know me. I get a little carried away with my projects and stuff. And I hope everybody's fantastic. Things are warming up a little bit here in Montreal. We are going to get a nice storm tomorrow, but it's mild. It's almost 0 degrees, which is amazing. That's in Celsius. So I'm going to flip my screen and get started. I have a few interesting projects I'm working on. I'm still working a little bit with the metal stamping stuff, but I'm also going to experiment with working with some lighter weight metals. Because when I was in about 5-10 years ago, I was teaching at a local art school and we had a project that we would do and it was with embossing metal, and it was a lighter weight metal than what we use for the metal stamping. And it was really interesting because I was teaching art to kids and they would make some really cool things with the embossed metal. So they do a drawing and they emboss it into a metal, like an aluminum metal sheet, little thicker than aluminum foil, and then they would paint it with Indian ink and then like rub it, and so the ink would be left in the crevices of the metal, and it was beautiful. I think I showed some work on the live stream below of that, so maybe I can put a few pictures I don't know, in the Facebook page or maybe in the community page here. I'll put some pictures of those. So let me flip my screen and we're going to get started. Here we go. And as always, I do a few little sketches. I just want to make sure that this is centered in a way that we can see what's going on. I'm going to bring the light over a little bit here, just so we have a lot of light. Yeah, so here's my sketchbook. And I have some metals. So I don't know if any of you guys have experimented with any of the metal stamping. So the Beaducation people sponsored me to do a couple of videos, and I just couldn't help myself to do a few extra videos. So here are some extra materials that they sent me. But I realized when they sent me these pieces of metal that they come in different gauges, and you can definitely cut these with the cutters. These are the cutters that came that they sent to me, but some of them are really, really thick. Like this is an 18 gauge metal sheet, and it's super thick. As you can see, I started cutting it. I don't know if you can see, it's hard to see. I started cutting it there, but it's super, super thick. So I was going to kill my hand if I was going to do that tonight. So I'm not going to use the 18 gauge. I'm not going to use the 20 gauge because that too is quite thick. So I'm going to go with the thinner one they sent me, which is the 22 gauge. It's like wire gauge, except, you know, for sheet metal, but the bigger the number, the thinner the metal sheet. So that's interesting. Erica says, your tutorials give me life. Yes, I'm so happy. That is so awesome. Well, you guys give me so much inspiration. I'm really, really grateful for every one of you and so grateful for the Facebook group. It's just I look forward to it every week, and I'm always disappointed when I don't get time to do it. So tonight we're gonna do it. We're gonna see what we can do. So I have these sketches, and I was actually gonna go see my parents this weekend, but the weather tanked. So we're still in Montreal. We're gonna go next weekend, but my mom always commissions me to make her a person like a very special greeting card. So what I do is I make her mixed media cards with watercolor and wire. And now I'm going to just expand a little bit and try to make some little instruments out of metal. Now, my mom is a musician. She's a cellist and a pianist, and she used to be a teacher, but now she's 82, so she doesn't teach anymore. But her and my dad, who plays the violin, used to play in orchestras, so we always had music in the house. Even though I don't play an instrument, I used to play piano, but I don't anymore. But I love music. So this is in honor of my mom tonight. And Joanna says I have copper sheets, but I have not had the opportunity. So do you know how big your copper sheets are, Joanna? Because it looks like the 22 gauge is a lot easier to work with, but I'll just show you to compare. These are the embossing metals that I use for kids art, and these you could buy in for sure in an art store. So these, you can see they're much thinner. You could bend these, so I wouldn't make jewelry out of these necessarily, but I'm going to use these to try to make an embellishment for some of my mom's cards. So it's a variety pack. Well, that's interesting. So you could tell by the feel if they're going to be easy to cut. And I didn't think I had proper cutters, but I actually realized I had these cutters. They're like kind of metal snippers that I had taken a jewelry making class before. So I actually had these metal snippers. So let's go ahead and try to make this staff. Like this one, I wanted for sure to try to make that one. And I guess it could probably be a pendant because we are using the thicker wire. So what I wanted to do for that is just to kind of decide approximately the size. So we're just going to draw it out a little bit. And then what we need to do is do 5 holes to put for the wire to go through. So I'm going to try, I'm using graph paper. It's a very small grid. So hopefully my eyesight is good enough to see this. I think this is going to maybe be too close to, we'll go skip one there, one there. I think that's going to be too much. Here, I'm going to start over because I don't want them to be too close together. So let's try again. We're going to go like that. So I think every third one may be good. So let's go up 2, and then we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, and then wow, this is really hard to see graph paper, but it's good that it's detailed. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. So 1, 2, 3, and then one more. So 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have it like that, and then say we're going to cut this like around there. So let's do the same over here. We're going to say to about here. So you guys can decide like if you make this what kind of size that you want. So we're going to go around here. Okay, I think that was where it was. And then down 3, about there. And then down like there. And then on that line. And this is just to give you a guideline. Oh, you lost me. Hang on. Now, am I still live? Can you guys let me know in the comments if you could still hear me, because for some reason it cut off for a minute. And I think we're live again. So let me know if we're still live. And I didn't even realize that it had cut off for a minute. So just let me know if you can still see me. Otherwise, I'm going to have to. Yeah, you can? Okay, that's great. I'm not sure what happened. I really need to pay more attention because I kind of looked away and then I didn't see that it went off. So what we're going to do is put just a little bit of 2-sided tape on this. Yes. Oh, thank goodness, Clarice. So let's stick this one on here. We put the 2-sided tape on that. We're going to just put it onto the metal. Maybe I'm going to push it down a little bit more. I don't want it right to the top because we want to be able to do a kind of like a hole at the top. So this should be more or less lined up. Hopefully it's straight. I think I cut it a little bit crooked, but that should be okay too. So we're just going to place it on there, and then with your metal cutters, you're going to cut it out. Now, let's just hope this is going to work. You guys are so patient with me because I always just troubleshoot. These are all on the live stream. It's always projects that I've never done before. So I've sketched them out, but I haven't necessarily done them. So you can see this metal is pretty hard to cut. So I can only imagine how hard the other gauges are. Like this is the lightest gauge they sent me. I'm gonna have to double check in the starter pack which gauge it was because it seemed to me it wasn't this hard to cut. But anyways, maybe they have stronger cutters. These cutters are actually not from the Beeducation group, so maybe they do have stronger cutters. So there we go. We have our little basic shape for the staff. If it gets curled up when you cut it, you can just kind of press it a little bit with your flat pliers. But now what we really want to do is do those holes that we're going to string the wire through. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see this is a special hole poker, and it's got like a little pointy edge on it. So this is going to poke the holes for the to put the wires through. So we're going to go ahead and press that. And I don't know if you can tell by this thing is removable. So when it gets dull, you can actually change it because obviously when you're poking metal, it will get dull rather quickly. Although I've used it quite a bit already and it's still good. So now I've poked these holes. They're about 1/8 of an inch apart. It's going to depend on your graph paper. And you want to try to just stick that little pokey end right on there. Of making fishing lures yet. Okay, so that's a long story about the fishing lures. I'm glad you asked because it's funny, I was talking to my daughter about it. So the fishing lures, because Kyle had asked me to do a DIY project for fishing lures, right? So I got to thinking, I was starting thinking about ideas that I could do for the lures, and I thought, at first I thought it was a really cool idea. Like I really liked the idea. But the problem with that is when I started to think about how I would make the hook that would hook into the fish, I felt so sad because I didn't want I didn't want to hurt the fish by like skewering them with a sharp wire. Like the more I would think about it, I thought, oh gosh, I'd have to like get a wire and sharpen it. And then when I imagined the fish like latching onto this lure, I don't think I could do it, Kyle. I'm so sorry. It just made me feel so sad. And I'm not a vegan. Like I eat fish. But I don't know. I don't know if I could come to terms with that or not. I'm gonna have to see. Let me look at it again because when I had that thought, I'm just like, I don't know if I could do this. But because when I originally said I would do it, I didn't think about the implications on the fish. But now the more I think about it, the more it just makes me sad. So let me think about it a little bit more. I'm such a wuss. Anyways, here's our staff with the little holes like that. And then what we want to do is, these are really pokey here. So let's just trim them a little bit because we can file it, but also a quick way to get rid of those little pokey ends is just to cut this a little bit like this. And Joanna says, I don't have a hole punch yet. So yeah, I will link up the hole punch below if you want to get the Beeducation hole punch. And we have a coupon code. You'll see it in the last video that I did for them, and there's a coupon code that's good till the end of March. So if you want a percentage off, you can use that coupon code on their website. So I just cut these on a little bit of an angle like that, just to soften them up a bit, and then you can go ahead and file it if you want. I'm not going to file it right now. And then what I want to do is also, because I'll probably put a jump ring on this to hang on a necklace. So what you'll want to do is go ahead and do a mark where the middle is going to be. And I think the easiest way to do that is I'm just going to fold this because now I'm not sure where the middle is. So we're just going to put this back like this. Let's just put it back on like this. Okay, just to center it. And then we're just going to do a little hole punch here. So we're going to do that hole punch. Okay. and that'll just be to put a jump ring if we want to hang it on a pendant or something. So now that's good. So there we go. We've got, let me bring it up so you guys can see. We have 5 holes on either side, a little hole at the top for the jump ring. And now let's see if this idea is actually going to work. We're going to get some of these. So we're going to just cut some wire, not too short, not too long. So I'm going to cut I'll cut it longer probably than I need. So we're going to cut the wire like that, and then we're going to string it through to do like little lines of the staff. So the staff has 5 lines. So what I want to do is I'm just going to go into this first one like this. Okay. And then right away, I think I want to secure it in place. So I'm just going to take the wire and twist it right in there, right through there again. So let's just do that. Okay. And we're going to pull this. Wait, we're going to go like that and pull it like that. Okay. Okay, we're going to go like that. So we're just going to pull it like that. And then now we want to just string the wire across. So let's just go across once. And I might not have fully like lined these up properly, but we're going to see what we can do. So we're going to put it along and kind of pull it. So we have one line there. And then we're just going to go right down to the next one and pull it back through to the front, because you want all your lines to be on the front. So let's pull it up like that. I'm pretty sure I cut this way too long. Okay, we're going to push that down and up. It's hard to get it so it doesn't kink, so we're going to have to be careful with that. And then, and Kyle says hi. Oh, and oh, there's a message that I can't see. So there we go. Okay, so we're going to push this one over here, and we're going to put this, we're just going to do 5 lines on the front. So there we go. 5 lines on the front. This wire is a little stiff, so it might work better with a softer wire, but this isn't too bad. And we're going to do another one. Just get these through here. And then after, I want to try to add some kind of like treble clef or something. So we're just going to start with the staff, and then I was thinking that we could do a treble clef and a note with wire as well. I had thought about maybe embossing it in, but I don't have a music note stamper. I'm actually next weekend, my video I'm doing next weekend is going to be like a metal guitar pick. Oh, I put it through the wrong one now. It's going to be a metal guitar pick with a little, I'm going to make my own little musical note stamper. So that should be cute. We're going to do that next weekend. Okay, so we just got to get these 5 lines on, and then we could try to do some treble clefs. So that would be good. So let's just get this one down. Yeah, these lines aren't super straight, but sometimes it even looks better when things aren't too straight, because you like it to look a little bit artsy. Now look at this, I cut this way too long. So I guess you could calculate how long you need it, because you could just measure the length of the rectangle and do it that way. So Brandy says, anyone know a cheap place to get round nose pliers and snips? Looking earlier, all over $20 old red. Probably, well, I guess on Amazon. I know I have a link in some of my videos just to like a basic jewelry pliers kit. I randomly found on Amazon. I'm not an Amazon affiliate or anything, but you can get materials on Amazon or even on Etsy. Sometimes you can find inexpensive things on Etsy too. You could check that out. So here's the thing with I hope you guys can see it with oh, here we go. If I turn on an angle, you can see. So there's 5 lines there, and then you have to finish this one off. So what I would do is just like put it through once, just to give it, to tie it in place. And we're just going to pull it tight like that. Okay. And we'll just clip it on the back. So that's, probably the best way to finish it. So you've got one end finished there and one end finished here. So we're just going to clip that And so we have Rye Bread Draws says, hello, hello, hello. So we're just making some little metal pendants. So whoever's hopping on or whoever's watching the replay, we're just doing some little metal pendants. So this one's going to be a staff. We can kind of try to straighten these lines up a little bit like that. So far it's not too bad. We have the metal base with a little hole for a jump ring and then the staff. And so now for the treble, I was thinking to add a treble clef and a note, and I wanted to do a contrasting color. So I thought about either blue, or I could do silver again, or I have black, but it's the black's too thick, I think. So what do you guys think? Do you think a silver treble clef and note or the blue treble clef and note? So whoever says something first, I'll choose that color. So blue. Okay, excellent. I love decisive people. So we're gonna do the blue. So let's just cut a piece of the blue. This is a really nice blue, actually. This is the artistic copper wire. It comes in a lot of really nice colors. Actually, I would love them to sponsor some of my videos, but I approached them at one point, but they never got back to me. So, but I still promote them anyways because I love their wire. I think it's amazing. So now, my idea was to do, well, you can't really see it here, but I'm going to actually redraw it because what I was thinking to do was just on the staff to do like a kind of a treble clef, okay, and then the note like that. I don't know if you could see that. So it's like a treble clef and a note. So let me go ahead and start forming the treble clef, and I'm going to use my round pliers for that. Let me get rid of some of this other stuff. So here's my bigger round nose pliers, and then what I'll do for that, I've got lots of little bits of metal on the table now. Looks cool, eh? Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. So let's hope it just all comes together. So now we're going to just to make the treble clef, what I do is I just take this, okay, and this is sort of the bottom of the treble clef there. And then we want to measure it to make sure it's going to fit on here. So we don't want to do it too tall. We don't want it to be taller than the piece itself. And then I'll take my smaller pliers, and this is going to be like the top of the treble clef. You'll see how it comes together as we go. So there's the first part of the treble clef, and then I do the round part of the treble clef, sort of like around the middle, and we're going to make like a little circle, okay, around like that, okay. So I don't know if you could see how it's coming together. I actually have a tutorial on how to make earrings like this with the treble clef. And then basically what you want to do is just hold the top and push this over. Like, it's easier to see if I do it this way. If you push it over, it becomes a treble clef like that. And Erica says blue too. So the consensus is blue, and that's a great thing. There might be a delay too between when I talk to you guys and when you guys like get the my voice. I'm not sure if there's a delay in the video or not. So here's the start of the treble clef, and to secure that in place, you can actually twist it around, okay, like this. And I thought it would be cool. Sometimes I put beads on it. So let me see where I put my beads. I have some blue beads. So let's see if the blue beads fit. I have a little cat's eye bead. So let's stick the cat's eye bead on there. It's a little big, but I think I will use it just because I really wanted to try it. You could do it without beads or with. And then basically you hold the bead in place and then just wind the wire around. Now this bead is a little bigger than I would have liked, but it's not too bad. So we wound it around there, and I'm going to wind it around again. And we're going to wind this around a little bit like that. Yeah. So Janine says, have you looked on Amazon for pliers? Yeah, Amazon has a lot of stuff. You might be able to find good pliers on Amazon. And like I said, if not Amazon, maybe on Etsy. So here's your treble clef. I'll bring it up a little closer like that. And now I want to do a little note right beside it. So I'll get 2 more of these cat's eye beads, and we're going to stick one of them on. You're so excited. The guitar pick. Yeah, the guitar pick is going to be really cool. I could do a lot of shows and collected them for years. Oh, cool. Yeah. So I might have, I don't know if I have some other guitar pick tutorials online. I might, but the ones I'm going to be doing on Saturday, they're metal guitar picks. So they're really cool. So now to do the note beside the treble clef, we're just going to hold the bead just a little over. And then we want to wind this around the bead. Okay. We're going to wind it around like a full turn around. So there's the first part of the note. I hope you guys can see this okay. It's a little bit small. And then we want to I just do it by eye. So we're just going to bend it like this. Okay, I remember trying to do your Capricorn ring, but my wire just broke. Oh, yeah, the wire is too fragile. Or sometimes certain wires are very kind of brittle. So if you bend them too much, they can break. I find the artistic wire is pretty good. Like it doesn't really break so much. It's got a little bit more of give to it. But that's the trouble. When you bend wire too much, it can just break, which is a real drag. So there we have, I've just got this started, the little shape of the note, and now I'm going to put the other bead on. This is the 4mm cat's eye bead. So we're going to put that on there. I have to remember which way I wind it. Okay, I'm going to wind it underneath. Okay, underneath. And then you're going to see, now the tricky part is going to be how am I going to attach this to the staff? So we're going to try to figure that. And like I said, if you don't want to use beads, you can just make little loops out of wire and it would be cute too. It would actually be a little more discreet because with the beads, it's a little more bulky, but it's kind of cute. So have you tried Wish? I'm not sure what that is. I guess I'll have to be a bit more creative in looking. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places you could get tools. The trouble with buying online is sometimes you don't really see exactly what you're getting. I know Michael's, the craft store, has they have tools and they have tool kits, like different sets of pliers. And the good thing about Michael's, I don't know if it's the same in the States, but you can get a 40% off coupon every week on their website for your most expensive items. So that's really cool. So Clarice says, beautiful. Yeah, it's coming along, Clarice. So here's our notes and here is our staff. So how are we going to attach it? So let's just check it out. I think what I'm going to do is just bring this wire around a little bit more. I'm going to have a look at this. And I think what we could do, because we want it more or less centered. So it looks like it'll be centered if I just take this one and bend it down, like kind of bend it to the back. So let's go ahead and put that one in. Okay, if we put that one in there, maybe a little tall, but it's not too bad. It's okay if it goes over a little bit. And then this one, I think instead of putting it in the bottom one, I'm going to put it in the second hole because it sits up a little higher. The note sits up a little higher. So let's go ahead and just take this and bend it there. Rybrid says, how can you come up with these ideas? Oh, thank you so much. I just thrive on this stuff, you know, and I always have a sketchbook with me. So when I go downtown, which I go downtown a lot, I bring my sketchbook and I have these ideas. So I just draw them out. And then you guys who are like so patient, just like encourage me while I do the live streams, and then we work it out to see if it actually can become a reality. So now this is attached to the base, and so the problem now is how do we actually fix these wires at the back? So I guess what you could do, you have a couple of choices. You could either pull them together and twist them together, but I'm not sure I would want to do that. You could do like a little loop, but it might get a little bit bulky. You can bring it kind of to the front. I have to think what would be the best way, like, because I could pull it up and back, but I'm not sure I want the blue to show on the front at all. So let me just try. I'm just going to cut it and do a loop. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but we're going to try it. So let's just try. We're going to cut it to about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. Okay, let's see. I just pushed the button. Hopefully I'm still on, guys. I'm going to see what happens. it's like gonna hold it in place, and it's gonna be most okay. And that way you don't have to kind of wind the wire around a few times. We're just going to like do a loop. And then if you want to, you can just press it down like with your nails or with the flat plier. We could just push it down like that. I think it's going to be fine. So there, and then on the front, we can just adjust it a little bit. So there's our little staff. And then if you wanted to put a jump ring on, I don't have any jump. Okay, there we go. Okay, like that. And we're good. And there we have our pendant. So one thing worked. That's awesome. So what I want to do is another like super quick one. And we're going to try it with this embossing metal to see how this is going to work. Because I haven't really used this one. And I want to kind of just do a quickie one. Yeah, it's cool that one. Eh? It worked out quite well. So now let's try to make the guitar. I don't know how well it's going to work, but we'll just give it a try. And instead of drawing it out first, I'm just gonna do it quickly. Do you use jewelry glue? I don't really use jewelry glue. I've used some crazy glue sometimes when I have to. Actually, I'm gonna draw this first. I've used crazy glue sometimes when I just have. And let's see. Turn around the camera. To go hop on. How about Instagram? Try to hop now. So I'm gonna go to. Let me go to Heather Boyd Wire on Instagram. I'm gonna sign off for now. I'm gonna thank you guys so much for hopping on, and we'll definitely see you next week. I'll try to do my live stream on Wednesday night next week. But at least we had one thing that totally worked, guys. It was a little laggy, but it's not too bad. This is, I don't know if you see this right side round or if it's opposite. So this turned out really well. I'm going to take a picture and I'll put it in the community section. And yeah, I'm going to just for fun hop on Instagram and